is it! Josh, this is it!
All right, we are back live on ASAP Network. We are covering Rampage and Smackdown tonight from last night. We are less than 24 hours away from All Out. So our predictions are coming out probably tomorrow afternoon. So you'll see that. So I know Eric didn't catch much of Rampage because someone deleted it off of his DVR. But Dom, what did you overall think of the show? And Dom might have a spy connection tonight because he's not connected to Ethernet. But we'll give this a go. Dom,
this is the first half of this is really going to be the Cody show.
Yeah, this. If you guys can hear me, that's good. Let's see how long it lasts.
You're good.
It was overall boring a little bit. It set up okay, but I'm not ready for All Out.
Wow, that's a very in-depth for you.
I mean, yeah.
I did not. Oh, my light just turned on. I did not like this show. I actually read a stat that it had 400,000 less viewers than last week's Rampage.
See, this doesn't surprise me because obviously I didn't watch the show, but you know what it kind of feels like Rampage through the first. They've had 4 shows, right? 4 Rampage shows. You know what it kind of feels like to me? It feels like SmackDown pre-brand split when it was just kind of like. It was just kind of an excuse to have more content, but nothing. It didn't really do very much to forward storylines. It was really just like, if you love AEW and want to watch it 2 nights a week, here's Rampage.
It reminds me more of Main Event than anything.
That's a bit disrespectful. I agree with you, Eric. It does feel like that, and I feel like that's what they intended to do.
All right, so let's just hop into the first match of the night, or the first. It was Malachi Black, I believe. Malachi Black versus Lee Johnson. So I didn't catch most of this match, so it's really hard for me to. I do love Malachi Black's entrance. It's literally, I think it's like a top 5 wrestling entrance right now. It is so freaking good. But I think the obvious outcome, Malachi Black wins. I watched highlights of the matches. Looked like a pretty entertaining match, but it's like Malachi Black should just be squashing everybody until he has an opponent that's like on the opponent that's on the same level. I don't think they have that in AEW right now. I would love to see American Dragon versus Malachi Black. Oh, that would be such a good match. But other than that, I really don't have too much on this. It was probably the best match of the night, but that's not saying much.
Was it like how do you know? I know you said you didn't catch a lot of it. Do you know how long it went?
Longer than I expected.
Yeah, it went longer. It was probably the longest match of the night.
Was it like competitive?
It's somewhat actually. Yeah. It seemed like competitive, and expected Lee Johnson to get less offense in.
Because here's the thing, about that. Lee Johnson hasn't been presented as anybody that could ever be competitive with Malachi Black, especially the way he's been booked. You know, he squashed Cody. That's all you need. That's all you need to know. He squashed Cody. Why is he being competitive with Lee Johnson? Lee Johnson was introduced to the AEW roster, I believe, as a Nightmare Factory student. So just in the way he was introduced so that he is not as big a threat as Cody. So why is he being competitive with a guy that squashed him out? I think that's ridiculous. But yeah, I agree, Cody. I would love to see a Malachi Black versus Bryan Danielson feud, and I think it's interesting because obviously we've come to know that that's the heavy rumor is he's going to be at All Out, and Malachi Black doesn't have a match. I don't know, does not have a match. No. So I'm thinking maybe he's going to get some sort of little promo segment, and then maybe that's where he comes in. And I can't see many other places where Bryan Danielson, if he comes, would fit in. So maybe let's cross our fingers and manifest.
There's a lot of people rumored for All Out, by the way. I feel like every AEW pay-per-view, there's like 5 or 6 names that are rumored. I've heard Ruby Riott, I've heard Daniel Bryan, I've heard
probably Buddy Murphy's probably floating around there too.
Buddy Murphy, I've heard Adam Cole, so there's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just skip to the next. I don't know what the next. Let's see. I can't remember the order.
I got it.
That's right. We got banners.
All right. Miro promo. So I don't like Eddie Kingston. So like, I really don't. So like, Miro was a typical heel promo. It wasn't anything special. I'm not a big fan of him on the mic. People think he's not as bad as he's not bad, but like I'm just not a fan of the way he structures his promos, I guess. But Eddie Kingston came out, and then Eddie Kingston he said, "My God isn't your God," and was talking about Jesus and stuff. And then I'm like, okay, this still literally I had no interest in this match and All Out even after this promo, so it really wasn't nothing I could. Dom, you've seen it, so what did you think?
He made like a D's Nuts reference or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
who did? Which one did?
I think it was Kingston. Yeah, it was okay. They brawled a bit. Kingston got more offense in the Miro than I expected, which is going back to Malachi Black. It's surprising.
Yeah, I feel like even if I watched Rampage, I probably would have skipped over this. Unlike Cody, I like Eddie Kingston's character. I like him I like his promos. I like the way he carries himself. But then as soon as the bell rings, I can't stand him. And then Miro, it's kind of the exact opposite for me. I mean, I'm like, he doesn't deliver his promo. At least I didn't watch this one, but for the most part, I don't think he delivers his promos badly. It's just like sometimes the content's just kind of iffy for me. But I like him in the ring, so I just feel like the match at All Out, I feel like it might be just terrible. I think you're gonna have like one guy that's just a good worker and one that's just not. So it's not even like Miro can carry him, because I don't think Miro in the ring is at the point where he can carry somebody, especially somebody as deficient as Eddie Kingston. So yeah, not looking forward to this at all.
I would rather Miro be a guy that doesn't talk at all.
He needs a mouthpiece. I would love if he had a mouthpiece. Like when he debuted in WWE, when he was actually like a serious monster heel, him and Lana, I thought that was actually I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
you guys don't like the Miro promos?
Nah, I'm not a big fan.
I don't hate them, but they're not memorable for me.
I like them. I love them. I think they're great.
His character more seems like a guy that just wants to just kick ass and move on. But so I don't think there's no need for talking.
Yeah, speaking of moving on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Good point.
Okay, so I literally had no interest in this match because I knew in the start of the match Chris Statlander was winning, because like you don't have a match 2 days before the pay-per-view and your number one contender loses. So
can I ask? So we talked about her on our predictions, Cody, and I think you'd never seen her before. And I said, "Watch out, she's the Nia Jax of AEW." Did you catch those vibes at all from her?
So I didn't catch Nia Jax is like on a level that no one else is for me. Like if I seen some Nia Jax in there, I probably wouldn't have watched. But I didn't see. She is rusty, so not rusty, more of green. She doesn't seem like she should be in a pay-per-view championship match against the most over woman in AEW. Not just AEW. Not
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm not looking. So and then Red Velvet makes the save after they attack her. Red Velvet, I can't take Red Velvet seriously because she's like 10 pounds.
She has no direction really. It seems like all she ever does is make saves for people.
Which I don't understand that. Britt Baker could just I don't know.
And so this was a handicap match, and I assume Chris Statlander won. If I remember correctly, when Dom, did you see the episode of whether it was Rampage or Dynamite when Jamie Hayter debuted? If I remember correctly, wasn't she made to be kind of a big deal when she debuted? And now she's losing in handicap matches.
I think Rebel took the pin, so I guess that's.
But still,
but I agree with you that it's a bit questioning, to be honest. It's questioning, yeah.
Continuing with the odd booking of the AEW women's division. I mean, like when you say, I agree, Chris Statlander, I don't necessarily think should be in a pay-per-view championship match, but at the same time, when you look at all of the women that are in the Casino Battle Royal and how many potential challengers that leaves for Britt Baker, they don't have they have a lot of women, but the talent depth isn't very deep. There really aren't that many people for her to work with that she hasn't already worked with multiple times. Britt Baker, that is, not Chris Statlander.
I agree.
Yep.
All right, let's move.
We can move on to the next one because Rampage is really boring. Okay, so I watched this full. This is probably like the only match I watched fully. Rampage. And if this match, so Dom, how long do you think this match went for? 10, maybe
10 minutes.
Like yeah,
10 minutes. Daniel Garcia. What?
It was a good length. Good length.
So if it went 10 minutes, Daniel Garcia had 8 minutes of offense.
I hate that. It's the same thing that I said with the Shayna Baszler Rhea Ripley match when it was 7 minutes and Shayna Baszler got 6 minutes of offense. I hate that type of match. We know, especially when we know who's going to win. Did anybody on planet Earth think that Daniel Garcia was going to win that match? No, because it's stupid. Because it'd be insanely stupid. So when we know Darby's going to win, when Daniel Garcia hasn't been presented as he's been presented as kind of like a chicken shit that attacks people when they're not looking. But then once the bell rings, he's been kind of ineffectual. So why don't we just cut? We know Darby's going to win. We know Daniel Garcia hasn't necessarily been presented as a threat in the ring. Let's just cut to the chase and give Darby a strong win going into the pay-per-view so that you actually buy him as credible to beat CM Punk.
So they did do I think Darby Allin, what was it called, the Pepsi twist?
The Pepsi plunger.
The what?
Pepsi plunger.
The Pepsi plunger. It's a CM Punk. It's a CM Punk
twist.
It's a CM Punk move from the.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did that move to I don't know, the mock CM Punk, I guess. I don't know, but
that's what gets passed off as psychology nowadays. I'm just gonna steal your move and call it psychology.
And then after the match, Darby Allin wins, obviously. After the match, the 2.0 starts attacking them. CM Punk kind of makes the save, but not really. And then Darby Allin does a dive to the outside, a crossbody, and knocks out 2.0 or I don't know who it was. And then CM Punk and Darby Allin do a face-to-face, and that's how the...
Did Punk look when he was brawling, did he look better than he did on Dynamite?
So I wouldn't say he was brawling necessarily. It was just he threw someone into the steel steps. It
wasn't much.
And then when they were face to face, did we get dueling chants or did we get deafening CM Punk chants?
I'm gonna look back. I
don't think there was chance, if I'm being honest.
What?
I didn't think there was chance, but there was
no chance at all.
Let me look back.
It was a cool spot. I can give it that because Darby Allin did the crossbody and landed on his feet, and then right there was the face-off. So that was a pretty cool moment. That was probably the best moment of the show. So that's not saying much, but yeah.
Well, it's only an hour show. There's only not as much of a chance.
The face-off wasn't long, and it was just no chanting. It was just long scenes.
So it was just kind of a quick pop, then I guess.
Yeah, it was really quick. It was 3-4 seconds.
Okay.
That's by the end of the show too. So
no, I was gonna.
I still just can't get over Dynamite. How right I was proven to be with that 10-second stare down and 0 people cheering for Darby Allin.
Anyways, I was not mentioned with the Darby Allin thing. Did you watch that spot where he I don't know, he was diving for Garcia and Garcia dodged it and
the table,
he missed the table and Eric, you need to watch that spot. He missed the table.
He missed the table
and he flipped over and it hit all concrete. It almost seemed. That was ridiculous.
And it's not just that. It's not just a him thing. There's so many people in AEW that just botch those dives and almost kill themselves. I've talked about Red Velvet's done it a couple times. There's multiple times in every Lucha Brothers match where I think that that Rey Fenix is going to kill himself with a dive, even though he hits it pretty clean. He just gets going so fast. I don't know. They gotta. Someone's got to talk to these people about being safer with their dives because they're going to hurt themselves real bad.
Dives are overdone.
Before we move on to SmackDown, I just want to say, the more I think about the Darby Allin CM Punk match, it's more their styles are so different that I'm not even sure this match is going to be good.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting.
I have a concern that this match is not going to be good because Darby Allin's all about the high spots and CM Punk, that's not how he wrestles. So I'm
just because I have conflicting style doesn't mean it's not going to be good.
Yeah,
but it's very conflicting. It's not they're not.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
The match hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can't say it's gonna. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, let's not pass judgment until we actually see the match.
I said I'm worried that it's not going to be good.
Well, I'm not worried. I think it's gonna be good. It's
I
like
mean, you're a
floor.
CM Punk fan. He could go out and shit on the ring and it'd be good for you.
Stop.
But so Cody and Dom, I think you caught enough of it to know. Did this this was for all intents and purposes like the go home show before All Out. Did this make you guys more excited to watch All Out, or did it just kind of like?
I think I was excited to begin with.
Made me less excited, to be honest with you. But also, I need to say something. What the hell does Mark Henry do?
He's an interviewer. He's the
He
interviewer.
just in one interview, like he had to like kill his legacy in WWE to go to AEW just to do that.
It's very OG.
I think he's gonna wrestle eventually.
It's very OG WCW, like the old days where they had the interviews in the backstage and they had the split. I think it's very.
But Mark Henry's not.
WCW.
The thing is, Mark Henry's not very good at that though.
He's fine. He's not bad.
Yeah. I'm hoping he wrestles eventually, because that if his sole role is what he's doing, I think that's why would you need to? Because I'm sure he's making a lot of money doing that. So why would you break the bank from Mark Henry just to do that? It'd be weird to me.
I want to see him in an arm wrestling match.
I think AEW would never do an arm wrestling match. Thank goodness.
Bring arm wrestling matches back. That's all I gotta say.
All right, so let's get to SmackDown, the superior show.
Yes,
I think the best show all week.
The one that all of us watched.
Yeah, and I also do think this was the best show of the week.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. We gotta have like a better stopping point. We're not like we transitioned way too fast because I gotta make a cut in between.
Well, sorry, Dom, I can't.
Okay.
You can just cut the CM Punk part out if you want.
I can start whenever you're ready, Dom. You ready?
Dom, that Darby Allin versus Daniel Garcia didn't fight on.
Give me a second.
The SmackDown thing's literally blocking.
God, calm down. I'm trying to.
That's how we like it, though.
I wonder if I can make it. This is not better.
Oh no!
This is worse.
That's great for me.
I'm just gonna keep it like this. Fuck it.
Yeah, just keep it like that.
All right, go ahead, Cody.
All right, yeah. So SmackDown from Friday, September 3rd. Overall, I think this was definitely of the 4 shows that we review. This was the best show of the week by far. And to start it off, we have the Usos come out to start the show, and so I'm not gonna lie, I saw this this morning. I was really busy yesterday evening, so I didn't get to watch it then. So I was really just kind of I watched it this morning. I was really just kind of trying to skip through a lot of the stuff that I didn't feel the need to watch. So that involved I skipped through the Usos cut a promo. I watched the match, don't worry. But pre-match, the Usos cut a promo. Didn't listen to it. Figured it's going to be just a generic, just generic heel promo. And then the Street Profits come out, and then they cut a promo. I skipped it because I figured that it was going to be a generic rebuttal to a heel promo. So the match, I was actually as much as I hate the Street Profits, and I really am sick of the Street Profits. They're super talented, they're super athletic, but to me they're just kind of a bootleg Private Party, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But this, I think I had high hopes for the match for it to just be like a fun, fast, hard-hitting, high-flying jumpstart match to the show. So I was really, really disappointed when it was DQ. I think that was a really bad way to start it, especially because the action before the DQ wasn't very good. And the DQ kind of just came out of nowhere. There was no real reason for the DQ to happen. It was literally the Street Profits hit a splash on one of the Usos. Then the illegal Uso breaks it up and then just beats the guy up for the DQ. It just made no sense to me unless they were just trying to get heat. But then after all that, the Street Profits laid them both out to end the segment. So then even the DQ served no purpose because the Usos I think the Usos ended up overall from start to finish the segment. I think they looked really bad. So I had high hopes for the segment. Then the match, I think they fell a victim to just overbooking themselves.
So I feel the same way about the match, but it's also like it was so like predictable because like the Usos. I think this is just going to be the feud until the draft, basically. Which is I don't know if we have an exact date on that yet, but I know it is coming up this month.
And this was actually, it was announced this was a championship contenders match.
Wow, what the
And I
hell?
think I actually figured out what it means. I could be wrong, but based on using some like context clues, I think a championship contenders match means if the Street Profits win, then that automatically means they get a title shot. Is that what that's always meant? Did we know that already? Or I was just way behind everything.
I mean, I feel like we could put two and two together.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that how it's always been in wrestling, though? Like, hey, I beat
But
you.
they never had a name for it. I don't know why the WWE had to go name it.
I don't know.
Dom, what did you think of this opening segment and match?
I enjoyed the segment. I really didn't care for the match itself. I enjoyed. I think the Street Profits needs a different gimmick. I just don't buy it. It's just not entertaining. The Usos and Street Profits, they're both good tag teams. They're gonna have a good match, and that's what they did.
They had them, and so after the match they did a quick cut to Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman backstage, and this was something I'm glad this didn't carry over throughout the show. And I don't know if you guys experienced this or if it was just like my TV. So Paul and Roman are talking, and it was the same thing sometimes when the announcers were talking early in the show. The music was so loud, I couldn't hear what Roman and Paul were saying. So like to this very minute, I do not know what they said. They had
this interview.
Paul and Roman had post match. They cut like after the Usos get laid out, they cut backstage to Roman and Paul while the Street Profits music is still playing. And the Street Profits music was so loud, I could not hear what Roman and Paul said.
Oh, Roman said, "Bring me the cousins."
Oh, is that all he said? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess it was just my TV then. Yeah, so that happened, and then after that we cut to the next segment was a Paul Heyman backstage interview.
There it is.
And this was I loved this. This is okay. Wait, I'm gonna say I loved the first half of this, then the second half was absolutely pointless, I think. And but anyway, so the part that I loved is that Kayla Braxton, is that the interviewer's name?
Yep.
She asked Paul something to the effect of like, oh, interesting things going on, huh? And then like, Paul starts to answer it, and then his phone rings, and it's Brock Lesnar's theme music. I was laughing so hard. I thought this was so funny. He picks it up, which later in the show, I think we realized that that's not necessarily the ringtone for his phone. It might just be like for Brock Lesnar's contact, but still super funny. Paul has a short phone conversation with him. He walks away. And here's the part that I didn't. This part, I think this part was really, really stupid. There's a janitor that's like mopping the floor. Paul like taps him on the shoulder, like says something to him. And then the janitor takes. I thought it was gonna be Reggie. I thought this was Reggie or hiding from like R-Truth, or maybe this is R-Truth looking for Reggie. It's Big E, just in a janitor suit, and then he starts cackling like a crazy person holding the Money in the Bank briefcase, and
that was hilarious.
I actually liked it, if I'm being honest.
I thought it made no sense.
It's just foreshadowing that Roman has more to worry about than.
I mean, I get that, but there's better ways you can do it than randomly having him in a janitor. Because think about this in the world of kayfabe. Why would Big E just feel like? Did he just feel like showing up in a janitor?
Yes, Big E's a goofy motherfucker.
Yeah, Big E's character is very goofy.
Yeah, he would do that.
With the New Day, yeah, but Big E, the singles competitor, hasn't nearly been as goofy.
He's still goofy though. That's still his core.
I think, but this is pushing it. You both have to admit that's pushing it. That's really.
Eric doesn't like goofy
I thought
stuff.
it was a funny way to get him on the show. I didn't really read too much into it. I do love the segment with Paul Heyman. I laughed out loud. Like when WWE makes me laugh out loud, that means it's a funny segment. Yeah. I also do like that Kayla Braxton gets to show her personality a little, and she's not like a robot.
Yes,
which is most of the interviewers. So
the interviewer on Raw is horrible.
They so Kayla Braxton last week they had the same interview, and she also was showing a little bit more personality. So maybe this is a thing where this is gonna be a thing that she's gonna interview him every week, and like I love the interaction between the two. So I like.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what they said, but I think it was something like Paul said, like, enjoy the moment or something. Then after Paul gets like flummoxed on the phone, she's like, oh, I'm definitely enjoying this moment. I was like, I like that.
She asked the question, and then Paul's just say, hey, can you just enjoy the moment for once?
Yeah.
And then when the phone rang, it was funny. Also, the draft is going to be the first week of October.
Okay,
it's farther away than we thought.
Yeah.
Hey, Dom, did you have any thoughts on this quick little backstage segment?
Hilarious. Good stuff.
All right, so
Hilarious.
So after So we fade out from that segment, and we get to Becky Lynch enters the ring. And it wouldn't be a WWE program if Michael Cole didn't fuck up some way, somehow. He pitches to the break. He says, like, not to the break. He pitches to, like, to the Fatal Four. He tries to pitch to the Fatal Four-Way package from last week. He's like, she has a new competitor on the horizon, like, and we're going to show you who it is. And turns out he said that about, like, a minute too early because Corey Graves was like, hold on. Why can't you just enjoy what's going on right now? So then we have to just like awkwardly watch Becky enter for another like 45 seconds to a minute. Then we cut to the package. So Michael Cole just being a fucking idiot. How long has he been the lead voice of WWE and he's still
Michael Cole needs to go. Corey Graves needs to.
How long has he been doing that job as like the head voice of WWE and he's still making rookie mistakes like that?
I think it's way more apparent when McAfee's not on the call with him.
You know, no one thankfully at the beginning of this segment, he did say like Pat McAfee. I think he said Pat McAfee's be back next week.
Well, he will, yes.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, so Becky enters. She cuts it was kind. I don't want to say generic, but it was kind of an expected promo. She was pretty much just saying like, why you also like Bianca? You like don't be mad at me because I outsmarted you. Don't be mad at me because I was better than you. It was a nice. The only thing that I kind of thought was weird about the promo is she mentioned like. The Sasha couldn't make it, and like she's like the powers that be called for the biggest name they know. I thought that was weird because she kind of implied that like Vince gave her the call. So if Vince gave her the call, why was Bianca not made aware that someone was gonna like? I don't know. That seemed like something in the world of kayfabe. That seems like something that Bianca should have known. Like, hey, Becky's here and she's gonna come challenge you tonight. I don't know. That's nitpicking. But then. Bianca comes out, and I hate her entrance. She doesn't carry her. I wrote she doesn't carry herself like a superstar. She carries herself like like a girl in a club. She's just dancing everywhere. Like you can't watch her bouncing around, dancing and waving her hair around, and then have her just step in the ring and be serious. To me, that's just it doesn't make it's a very schizophrenic look to the segment. And then she cuts a promo, and I'm going to say this now. I haven't watched a lot of her promo work. After watching this, if I never hear her cut a promo again, it'll be too soon.
I think it was fine. I think the promo was okay.
Hated this.
I was never a fan of her promos.
I not only hated what she said, I hated the way she said it. I thought the first part, the first half felt very pandering. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to accept my shortcomings because I hold my like just saying the stuff that the audience just like wants to hear, and it just sounds like she doesn't mean it at all. So the first half felt pandering, the second half just felt like she didn't know what the hell she was saying. At one point, she said, "When I take that title back, I'm gonna become the SmackDown Women's Championship." Like don't put a mic in her hand. Let's not put a mic in her hand until she's ready, folks. Come on.
I wanted to point out something real quick.
No, you can go.
Yeah, what's up, Tom?
Said something small. I think Cody talked about it as well. The way she's just dressed. I mean, I don't want to talk about like dressing so much, but like it reminded me of like early 2000s how they dress female wrestlers. No, it was just very off-putting. It was off-putting.
For me, not necessarily the skirt, because you see a lot of women come up with skirt. It was like the bra. Like wear an actual top. Like Charlotte wore a very similar skirt. Charlotte wore a very similar skirt a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. But then she wore like a full torso, long sleeve like shirt, and it looked fine. This just looked odd.
I always hated when wrestlers dress like they're going out after, because like Bianca challenges Becky to a match tonight, and like you're in like street clothes. You're not even ready to compete. If she said, "Yeah, let's fight right now."
And like, it's not even street. It's not even street clothes. It's like fancy. Yeah, it's club clothes. But then, yeah, like Cody said, to wrap up this segment, Bianca challenged her, like, why don't we do this tonight? Becky said, no, thank goodness. I think this. So first of all, in our SummerSlam recap episode, we said, who do we think, Dom, you were saying, who's her first opponent going to be? If only one of us said it's definitely going to be Bianca as soon as Becky's ready. And we get exactly that. So the match, we knew the match was going to happen. But I think they're smart to leave it for the pay-per-view. And yeah, I really was not. I liked how this segment's. I can't even say I liked how it started, because it started with Michael Cole being a goddamn idiot, and it ended with Bianca cutting a terrible promo. So I mean, I don't know how I liked parts of this, but I hated most of it. What did you think?
So the touch on the Bianca Mike thing, I think it was hidden so well because she's been in the ring. Like, other than like the little short stint, like where after Bailey got hurt before Sasha came back, she's been in the ring with like the best women in the company. She's been Sasha, Bailey, and now Becky. But now it's like when you give her more chance to talk, you can see that inexperience. Also, I do want to note that I read like some like dirt sheet, and Sasha Banks was backstage last night.
Okay.
This is her first time back, so I'm hoping.
What was she out with again?
No one knows.
No one knows.
No. It seems like COVID because it's been
a couple weeks, so maybe.
Yeah. So but the segment, it was. First off, this crowd was great tonight. Like, I really felt they were into it. Like, Becky got a huge pop. Bianca got a huge pop. I don't know what they're doing with Becky's character right now. Because, like,
you know why? I remember you said that last night. You said, I don't know what Becky's character is. So I was actually, when she came out, I was going to really see if I can, like, figure it out. I think I might know why. It's because we don't know if she's a babyface or a heel right now.
Yeah.
Like, she's getting pops of a babyface, and at times she's acting babyface, but to her fellow women in the women's division, she's acting like a heel. So I'm confused because
she's also acting like a heel, like backstage. Like when they told her she was going to be fighting Extreme Rules, she kind of gave like a sourpuss look on her face. So I don't know. It's like the immediate thing I thought of was Kevin Owens' character back when he got called up from NXT. He's like, well, I don't fight unless I want to fight. Or I fight for a prize.
Wait, what was Kevin Owens supposed to be a face when he got called up?
No, Kevin Owens was a heel.
Yeah.
So because he was a prize fighter. He said, I only fight for prizes. But I'm looking forward to this match. It's going to be good, and I cannot wait till we get finally a Becky versus Sasha match. That's all I really care about.
And then Bailey versus Becky.
And also, so Cody, I just realized I don't unless a report comes out that says Sasha was out with COVID. I actually don't think it can be COVID, because if she like tested positive, then Bianca would not have been at SummerSlam because they've been working together, and that she'd be a lot of people probably wouldn't have been at SummerSlam because they're high risk close contacts. But but she was out with something. I'm very interested to know what it was. If that becomes like public information. What do you think? What'd you think, Dom?
It had to be something personal, just because. Like, you don't put your number. I would say, like, she's a top 5 star in the company. Maybe some people would say you don't take her out of SummerSlam unless it's like a big deal.
I think this promo and this segment was just another way to carry the feud to next week. Yeah, I don't think it was like a big checkpoint where you reflect on the feud and be like, oh, remember this segment? It's nothing there. It was nothing special. It wasn't awful either. So all around, it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good way to extend the feud without giving too much away by having them brawl. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like with big, and this is a title feud. It's a big feud. I like when big feuds. I like when it's leading to a pay-per-view and they can go a long time without actually like touching, and you actually let the anticipation kind of build. That's something that's something AEW does a really bad job of, because AEW is all about action. So like their big title feuds are very like top heavy, and then the closer you get to the pay-per-view, the steam just kind of gets let off it because you've seen all the big moves. So I like I like this. I like, even though it wasn't my favorite like promo segment, I do like that they haven't really touched yet. So that's good.
They do have a contract signing next week.
They do, but yeah, we're not at that point in the show yet.
We know how contract. Well, I mean, we can talk about it, but we know how contract extensions, signings usually.
Go. Yeah. So the next thing that happened, we did have a one-on-one match come up here. Right before it, we had Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. I guess they're calling it Robert Roode now, walking backstage, and Dolph kind of shoos Bobby Roode away. Let's keep going so he can talk to Tony Storm. They had a quick little back and forth, and I wrote, "Oh, please God, not another romance storyline, and especially not one with Dolph." Because first of all, Dolph's way too good for that. Second of all, that would be, I think, the third, the dirty talking to Tony Storm. That'd be the third romance angle that Dolph's been in the last like 5 years. He did the thing with Lana. He had Summer Rae, and now you're gonna do Tony Storm. I don't know. So I wasn't a huge fan of this. Was this Toni Storm's like main roster television debut?
No,
No.
she had a match a couple weeks ago.
No, she did. Okay, good.
was-
I was gonna say this
I
is
was
not.
gonna
how
say that Juice
Against Zelina
Robinson.
Vega.
Juice Robinson is fuming right now. He's like, "What the hell are they doing with
I'm
that?"
sure he's not that mad. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Good point.
Yeah. So, but to go into specifics, what they said, Dolph said like, so she at some point peppered in like, "You look great," and then he was like, "Oh, I have a match. You should you should watch my match." And she was like, "Oh, I'm rooting for Rick Boogs actually," and that leads us to Rick Boogs versus Dolph Ziggler. And here's something that's very interesting to me. Does Boogs not have his own entrance?
No, I don't.
Because he
Not
not
that
only entered to Shinsuke's music, he just like it was literally Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance with like Nakamura run like doing his walk and doing his like thing with his hands, and Boogs just kind of walking with him. Is that Boogs' and I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have a chance to go into Nakamura's theme song, you do it.
I mean, I would take it too.
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
It was just weird that it was Boogs' match, but Nakamura's entrance. But yeah, anyway, we're nitpicking again.
Yeah.
Man. First of all, why did this match even happen? This was so random. And second of all, they fucking up my man Dolph Ziggler. That guy, let me tell you, that guy is so fucking good. That guy is. If we're just talking work, not how they're presented, if we're talking just work, the fundamentals of being a wrestler, that dude's top 5 in the company, if not the world. That dude,
I can see that.
that dude's so good. Not even talking about his selling. He might be the best seller in the world, but I'm talking about like work, timing, making your shit make sense, and laying out a good match. That dude's so fucking good. He deserves so much better. I didn't time this, but it had to have been less than 3 minutes getting squashed by Rick Boogs, a literal non-entity as far as an in-ring competitor is concerned. This was disgusting.
I just wanted to point out, like, one of my favorite things to do on my free time in terms of watching pro wrestling is going back to like early 2010s and watching Dolph Ziggler, because the man had the push, the man had the good matches, he had pretty good decent feuds. He was the mid-card star in my opinion, and it's just so sad to see him relegated to this now.
So I think I might have an unpopular opinion here. I like Dolph as a wrestler. I don't like his character. I don't like his mic skills. I don't. It's the only thing I like about Dolph Ziggler is he can wrestle. It's really all.
That's fair.
I do agree. This was a terrible match. Rick Boogs, who doesn't have his own theme song, to squash Dolph Ziggler, a former world champion. This was the worst thing that happened in SmackDown. You easily could have put a women's match in here.
I sometimes forget that Dolph Ziggler
You literally
was
could put anything in here.
I sometimes forget Dolph Ziggler was a world champion because who was it? Was it 2 or 3 reigns? Was so unmemorable. It's man, oh man.
It's a shame. And actually, Cody, I think my internet might have crapped out for a little bit. I came back when you said that's the only thing I like about Dolph Ziggler is his wrestling. What were you saying about Dolph before? I missed the whole thing.
I don't really like him as a character.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what you were going to say. That's kind of what everyone says. I don't like him very much as a heel. He's one of the rare people that I think are much better as a babyface. If you guys remember his feud with The Miz over the Intercontinental Championship a few years ago.
Yes.
He cut a couple promos in there that were fan-fucking-tastic. He got so much momentum behind him. He was red fucking hot, and I curse WWE to this day for not capitalizing on it. And
remember,
let me say this.
Okay.
The number one superstar that would benefit from going to NXT is Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph would benefit from going literally anywhere. He'd be a superstar in Japan.
And from the rumors, he could end up going to, because NXT is reportedly going to be the third actual brand because they're rebranding anything. They're gonna be like the ECW.
Wait, what? They want to be a third brand, yet they want to be a developmental also.
Well, no, they're going to be. I think they're going to bring more people from the roster to NXT.
It's going to be interesting what's going to happen with NXT. I just wanted to say,
I'm very interested to see what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So after this crap fest of a goddamn segment, we go backstage to Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, where they announced that Becky and Bianca will have a contract signing next week. And in my notes, I said, great, I get to hear Bianca talk again. That's going to be absolutely great because she's cut such a great promo. She deserves more mic time. But yeah, like Cody said, we know what contract signings are. This is they're probably going to get their hands on each other here, but which is a shame. I hope there have been in the past, there have been contract signings that have, and I think some of the best contract signings are the ones where they don't touch. Like in 2000, I think it was 15 when Seth Rollins was feuding with John Cena when they were going to have that title for title match. They had a contract signing. They didn't touch it all. And that's one of my favorite contract signings. It was just promos back and forth, two great promo guys. And Cena wraps it up by saying, when you were with the Authority, you were Triple H's bitch, and at the pay-per-view, I'm going to make you mine. And he walks off. And that's perfect. But they can't do that.
They didn't touch. Corbin came in.
Did Vince and CM Punk touch with the 2011 thing?
Cena came out and punched them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, we can't really get that with these two because Becky's a great promo, but Bianca's terrible promo. So we're probably not going to have a promo war here. So this is probably going to end with some sort of fisticuffs, which is unfortunate. But that was that segment. Don't need to talk too much about that. Then we have Cesaro make his entrance, and I was excited because I love Cesaro. And then they announced that his opponent is Seth Rollins. And okay, you guys are probably gonna hate me, but as soon as I saw Seth Rollins, I listened to his promo when he said when he was saying like I watched my match with Edge so many times. I actually kind of liked his promo. He's like I watched that match. I watched every move, and I think I know what Edge does to like get the upper hand. I really like that. But then when he made his entrance and I realized that we're getting this match for the 10th time this year, I skipped it. Didn't watch it at all. I skipped to the finish, and then I saw the beat down and Edge make the save, skipped the whole match.
This was like just all the regular matches. I didn't think there was anything special about this match. I love Seth Rollins' character so much. Like his character is one of my favorite characters in WWE right now. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, I don't want to see Edge Rollins again," and I'm looking forward to it. I like the match at SummerSlam. I'm probably gonna like. It depends like how much time they give it because they're gonna just do it.
It's a free TV match now.
Yeah, Rollins has to win. Rollins has to win. He can't lose twice to Edge.
I'm gonna start moving with you under SmackDown next time, but that's beside the point. Cesaro and Seth Rollins is like a good home meal cook. Home cooked meal, if that makes sense. It's gonna be good, but you eat it every day. You see it a lot. I said Cesaro with the whole like Matrix special effects on his entrance. I didn't like that. That was really goofy.
They're getting very distracting with their like entrance.
Yeah, I like when they like highlight the next match and it's like it looks like above the ring.
It looks like it's hanging from the rafters almost.
Yeah, I like that. I just don't like when they do it with the entrances. But Seth Rollins wore his actual gear where he wore for SummerSlam, which disappointed me because some Seth Rollins SummerSlam gear is special usually, so it's sad to see him repeat it.
No, but he usually does after a big feud. He like I remember when he wore something like super cool for WrestleMania when they did the triple threat and took on out, and he wore it for like the next month.
Okay.
Oh, he wore. Yeah, I think that's when he did like the Ice King or something.
Yeah, he wore.
What about the
I was there. I was there. Was really pulling for Finn Balor in that one.
What about the 2016 one?
The white one? I haven't seen.
No, that's the 16 one is the.
He didn't wrestle. He didn't wrestle in 2016 Mania.
Yeah, he did.
That's when he tore his ACL.
That was the Balor.
2016? Yes. No, that wasn't 2016.
100%.
Yeah, that was Mania 32. Look it up.
No, I'm talking about SummerSlam. I didn't even mention WrestleMania. I thought you were talking
about WrestleMania. Okay.
No, SummerSlam gear. Anyway, okay, I'm getting off the track. But this match was good.
From 2016.
Okay, whatever. I remember Beverly. 2016 was a great pro wrestling year. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, it was a good match. I'm excited to see Edge versus Seth too.
Yeah, so
I hope it opens.
Yeah. So there's actually one more thing I want to say. So first of all, I didn't skip the match because I didn't think it'd be good. I knew the match would be good. It's just figured it was going to be the same match that I've seen so many times this year. The other thing was after the match. So his promo pre-match, he said, I think I know how Edge gets the upper hand. And so what he did after the match, he did that thing that Edge did when he takes the bar from the chair and Did Edge ever do that to Seth?
He did it to Roman.
Yeah, he did it to Roman. So that's what I thought. So how is that something? If that's going to be, I figured
it's just an Edge patent move, I guess. Apparently,
yeah.
But his big thing in the promo was he was talking about I'd studied our match at SummerSlam, and I think I know the secret. So his secret is to mock him by doing something that Edge never actually did to him. I didn't think they did it because it's supposed to be like, see, Edge, I'm doing this sadistic thing too, but it's like in the context of his promo, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll still agree.
Again, I can nitpick all night long. I only do it when I see something.
Quick question: what is that move that Edge does when he lays like a chair under the
chair
top? Yeah, it would have made more sense if he did that than the little bar thing.
Wasn't he going to do that?
They've been abusing the concerto this year, though.
Wasn't he going to do that? That's when Edge made the save.
Maybe. Honestly, you're right. Probably.
Yeah, in WWE has been over the last year and a half. They've abused the concerto. They've done it 7-8 times.
I love the name.
It's a scary.
I love the name. I don't love the move. I just love the name concerto. It just sounds.
Yeah. It's a good name.
Yeah, but anyway, so after that segment, we cut to a backstage segment with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, and so Paul's just kind of saying "Oh, we're in trouble," and they just kind of go back and forth for a second. Then so we get to the point of the segment, which is Paul's Brock is going to be at Smackdown next week, and oh my god, I'm pumped for that. I can't wait to see Brock back on Smackdown. And then Roman kind of gets into this. How do you know? So he's like, how do you know that Brock's watching right now? He's like, he's probably in Saskatchewan watching this right now or something. And Roman's like, how do you know he's in Saskatchewan? He's like, well, he might be in Minnesota. And then he's like, well, how do you know Brock's not here right now? And I kind of liked this interplay because it's kind of showing that Roman in the back of his mind is like, I don't fully trust you with Brock in the building. And I like that. And then Roman, he does the, I can't do it. But you know how he had at the end of this when he's like, how do you know Brock's not in the building right now? And Paul's like, what? He does that face and his lip twitches. I can't do it. But that his facial expressions are so I just wrote Roman is so fucking good. Everything
he is.
He just does all the little things to the point where I feel like I need to mention a twitch he does with his lip. It's so good. I literally love everything Roman's doing.
I just wanted to mention during the main event, I was like, Roman is the best wrestler right now. My family looked at me crazy. I'm like, are you serious? Have you not been watching wrestling?
We'll talk about the main event when we get to the
okay, but Roman is so good. Yeah, that's the main event.
I'm also curious, what does Saskatchewan have to do with Brock Lesnar?
No,
he lives there, I guess.
I thought it was from Minnesota.
But I think he lives there because he has a big farm there.
I don't know.
He's a farm guy.
That's literally the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like,
I didn't see
Canada?
I'm from Saskatchewan.
But then I actually forgot about the segment until I was like, what segment is he? And I'm like, oh yeah, because Roman Reigns was kind of doubting that Paul Heyman was telling him the truth.
You say Roman Reigns?
I said Roman. I was saying Brock last night, and I said Roman Reigns.
That's how Matt Riddle would say Roman Reigns.
Whoa!
But it was also more like Roman he's like, how do you know he's in Saskatchewan? And Paul freaked out. I mean, he could be in Minnesota. I don't know. So that definitely shows. I'm very intrigued on what's going to happen next week.
Yeah.
And I'm very intrigued to hear Brock on the mic.
Ooh.
That's Brock on the mic for a full promo.
Brock on the mic's never been. It's never been a great thing.
I don't think Brock's terrible on the mic.
It's just his voice. It's just his voice.
Brock Lesnar has great character work. I watched back some of his.
I think he's scared. He's probably not going to say much. He's going to be like,
yeah.
He
honestly might not. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't even say anything. This might just be a close the show stare down type of deal.
Maybe.
But anyway,
or I would love if they actually. Well, so Brock and Roman are probably not going to be fighting Extreme Rules. I wouldn't think.
No, we
Right.
actually. I actually read a rumor, and
From
I'll get to. I'll get to the rumor at the end of the show. But so after that was a really quick little segment, but it was good, so it was worth mentioning. We cut to a Rolls Royce pulling up backstage. We don't see who's in it, but we all know who's in it.
I actually didn't know who was in it at first, and then I heard the
Yeah.
music.
And then
okay.
So Baron Corbin comes out and he says, and I wrote Baron Corbin rolls up in a Rolls Royce. I can't wait to see how this goes wrong because he's going to lose the money somehow, and I think I figured it out. By the way, I think I figured out what's going to happen. But so he makes his entry. He enters the building, and then Kevin Owens makes his entrance. We have the KO show. I told you guys last with Moist TV, I'm not a fan of all of these interview shows, but I was going to watch it anyway and then they dropped the bomb on me that Baron Corbin's new ring name is Happy Corbin, and I think that's so. Some people get it. I'm not going to rag on it too much because I understand that a lot of people are going to get a kick out of that. I just think it's a little overly silly to just call him Happy Corbin because it's not like when he was sad they were calling him Sad Corbin. So
he's Happy Corbin.
Yeah,
they didn't call him anything. I'm not going to rag on it too much. My thing's just like I think that's a little like they weren't calling him Sad Corbin when he was sad. They didn't call him anything.
Dom, I said I'm not going to rag on
yourself.
But anyway, so we cut to break. We come back from break, and Edge challenges Seth next week, and I thought that was kind of weird. I don't like how they do that. How they go to break saying one thing's coming up, and then when they come back, it's something completely different. Even though they got right back to the KO show, I think you can format the show a little bit more fluidly than that. But yeah, so the special guest is Happy Corbin. I love the Happy gimmick. I really do. The only thing is, he seems very uncomfortable pretending to be super happy. No, I'm not.
Really? What?
I'm not going to say, okay, I shouldn't say uncomfortable. He's clear. I think it's very, very obvious that he is acting. Now, I'm not saying that he's like secretly really sad, but I'm saying that he's very clearly acting.
I get that.
Yeah, he's very clearly acting super happy. So it looks to me, it looks kind of awkward.
It's funny.
I know. I like it. I'm just saying he looks kind of awkward doing it. Like you can tell acting super, super happy isn't exactly his wheelhouse.
Fair enough.
But Happy Corbin has his special guest. He calls out Logan Paul, and honestly, Dom, I kind of want you to change the banner to the Logan Paul show because he stole this whole thing.
I'll say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say this. He was better than Moist TV, but I think Cody or you, Eric, said that he carried the segment. No, you better stop.
I think he was. Oh, I think he was fantastic.
He was great. He was good. I'll give you that. But Kevin Owens was a big part of that segment, I
thought this is gonna be interesting. We can't. Let's not debate for this too long on the show. Let's do this later. We can save this debate for later. I thought Kevin Owens seemed really lost in here. Like this seemed to me.
Cody looks like
to me this seemed all about Logan Paul to me. This was all Logan.
Eric, you need to be watched. Even Cody makes that.
I'm not saying Kevin Owens was bad. I'm not saying Kevin Owens was bad. I was just saying this was all Logan Paul.
Cody, are you looking at me right now with that face?
This is all I thought. Logan Paul was because Logan Paul now accepts that he's going to get booed, and he's just playing it up. And he knows exactly what to tell the crowd that's going to get them to boo him, and I think it's awesome. Him and Corbin playing off each other was great. I just think even though Kevin Owens he's a great promo. He said great things and he delivered them really well. He seemed like filler here. I think this was all about Corbin and Logan.
Okay, I see that. I do.
Yeah,
okay, that's better than you should say he was.
To say he looked lost was probably a bit of an exaggeration, but he seemed like filler. This was all Logan Paul and Happy Corbin. I think Logan Paul was the star of the segment. Come on, he was so good.
Okay,
especially I loved him just casually pulling out like $1,000 and just being like, "Here's $100, Kevin."
It's like Mr. Beast.
Come on.
Okay, so I love this segment so freaking much. I truly believe Logan Paul is better than CM Punk on the mic.
Oh, what? I'm about to Can I keep
I'm
you
just kidding. I'm
up?
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna
Black-
say, I'm kind of mad that the SmackDown review is covering Dom's face because I really wanted to see that.
Next week, you better have some hot takes because that review is going down. Oh,
So no, but I do. So I think this is WWE's fault. I don't think they gave him Logan. They probably were like, Logan, they're gonna all cheer you.
Oh, 100%.
I think they set him up to fail at Moist TV. Like really, like Logan doesn't really know how the universe works. So when they're like, Logan, just play the douchebag. So basically, be yourself. Just be yourself.
be yourself, and you'll be fine.
So I think my favorite friendship of all time is Happy Corbin and Logan Paul. Just like giving knuckles to each other. They're like, oh yeah.
I'm gonna give that time, but I still think Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho is the best friendship.
Okay.
What about Sami and Kevin?
But I'm gonna give that time. I'll give that time.
All right, can I finish my take before you guys?
Kevin just epic with everyone.
But no, I do love where Logan's obviously he knows he's gonna get heat when he mentions Jake's name, and then
especially mentioning him in the context of the Woodley fight.
Yeah, and then Happy Corbin, I won a lot of money in that fight. I loved it so much. I feel like Kevin Owens is a great just shut up, just shut up. I don't want to hear you. So I do think Kevin Owens deserves better than being in this feud because it's lame. But at the same time, I loved it. So that's it.
I think Kevin Owens is a great way to I think the Kevin Owens show is really good because he does elevate people with the promo. Like he doesn't make it all about himself. It actually felt like about the guests, which was Jake Paul and Happy Corbin. You know,
Logan
I feel like the Paul. Okay.
He's the right Paul brother.
I don't really care that they both do the same thing. It's not
he's better than CM Punk.
I forgot to mention. So before he called out Logan Paul, Corbin said because I guess in a previous SmackDown, Kevin Owens gave him $100, and he said I'd had. So this is where when I said I think I know how Baron Corbin's going to lose the money. He said, I'd give you your money, but I left my wallet in the Rolls Royce. And remember, at the beginning of the segment, didn't he give his keys to Kayla Braxton?
She did not steal that car.
I'm not. I think somebody. I'm not saying Kayla Braxton did, but I think somebody. I think there's a reason. He left the wallet in the Rolls Royce. He doesn't have the keys to the Rolls Royce. I could see the keys falling in the wrong hands.
I think you're thinking of it. Wait, I think this is going to be a thing for a little while, so I don't see it.
I don't Dirty Dog steal the car, if anyone.
Yeah, I don't think this is necessarily going to happen next week, but I think they're playing. I don't know. We know he's going to lose the money somehow.
What I really hope is that they show Happy Corbin driving to work one day, and Reggie and R-Truth are in the back of the car fighting for the 24/7 championship. Oh man, that'd be good.
But anyways, Moist TV, not Moist TV, the Kevin Owens show, flipping fantastic. I'm a religious hater of WWE talk shows. This was great.
I wanted to say
I've never seen a KO show I didn't like.
That's true. I wanted to say one more thing with the Baron Corbin thing.
Happy Corbin.
Why is I want to get Cameron Grimes in that feud, Teddy DiBiase, LA Knight,
they just got out of that though. They just got out of that. I would like this.
But it would be nice to see more money hungry people and acting with Corbin like they did in NXT. I think that'd be interesting. But that's just a little thought out there.
Yeah. So anyway, we have the next match coming up. It was Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio. I love Sami Zayn. I was not excited for this because can't stand Dominic Mysterio in the ring. My first thing was if Dominic Mysterio wins, I'm turning off the show. I would have lived.
I just want to make that joke. I'll change it back.
Yeah. So the match starts, and I don't really. I watched the whole thing. I don't exactly remember the lead up to the finish. I know that it was mostly back and forth, and Dominic actually. For himself, I don't remember any egregious botches on his part. There was one. The only thing I remember was there was one part where Dominic was on his back and Sami Zayn was holding his arm, and it looked like they were trying to set up for Dom to kip up, and it looked like they tried it 2 or 3 times and Dominic just couldn't do it. So then Sami Zayn just kind of awkwardly pulled him up to his feet. But that's kind of that's not that's nothing about him being like a bad wrestler. That's just like an athleticism thing. So I'm not gonna knock him for that. But the finish, this is a less than 5 minute match. It shocked me, but I liked it. I did like the finish. Sami goes out as if he's gonna just like take the DQ 10 count loss, and Ray kind of runs in and says, "No, you get back in the ring." And I think does Dominic throw him in the ring? Something happened. They both get back in the ring, and then Dominic immediately gets hit with the haluva kick 1, 2, 3.
Mysterio came out, right?
Yeah, Ray
okay.
came out.
Said
Yeah,
okay,
so
my
like,
bad.
yeah, Ray came out. But yeah, I don't really know. Like, it came out of nowhere. I like how it happened in that they're planting the seed that like Ray cost him the match, but I don't think it makes very much sense. Because if you're Dominic, what's the gripe against Ray after this? How did he cost you the match?
Because they have an ongoing thing. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if it was. I think it was this week or last week. They had a segment back. He's like, "I got this. I don't need your help." So,
but he wasn't. But for this, it's not like
he didn't want him to go out there. I guess.
Yeah, like I guess the gripe is you should have let me win by count out, but that's not a very babyface move to yell at somebody for not letting.
I think
you
it's
win
not
by
that he
count.
doesn't want to lose.
It's very heel. It's very heel to be angry that you didn't get a win by count.
He just doesn't want Mysterio there. I feel like he feels like he's a bad.
I get that. Yeah. It was weird to me.
I also if you guys watched the match back, I'm pretty sure like Dominic Mysterio like moved his head for the haluva kick. So like,
they did a really quick camera cut when
I think that was a big botch. But anything with Sami Zayn on my TV, I'll watch. He's my second favorite wrestler on SmackDown. I love Sami Zayn so goddamn much. He needs to be treated better. I think he needs to turn face. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, like, what's he doing right now?
If he's gonna stay heel, I like him as a heel, but I think he needs a different heel like character. I don't like this character.
He just needs a feud. I like this character.
But there's nobody. Who's he gonna feud with? Nakamura. We've already seen that like 100 times.
Him and Happy Corbin would be fun.
He could stay heel and go to Raw.
Yeah. Well.
Face in a long time.
Yeah.
I also have a dream match for me is Sami Zayn versus Edge. That was a good match. But yeah, I love Sami. I did like the finish. I probably wouldn't have joined this review if Sami Zayn. So.
I'm disappointed he didn't dance over him like he did last week.
That's why I want face to Sami Zayn, so when his music cut, he can start dancing to it. Because his music is one of the best in the business.
It's good. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, Dom, do you have any thoughts on it?
I enjoyed the match. I enjoy Sami. Like Cody said, anytime Sami's around, I'm happy. I'm a happy Dom.
Roman Reigns actually gave Sami a rub in an interview. He said, anytime you can get Sami Zayn on your television more, you should do it.
That's true.
So
awesome. Yeah, so we did. The next thing was the main event, but right before the main event, we had a really quick, and I'm bringing this up because I know we all love Naomi a lot, and we had a really quick backstage segment where pretty much Sonya Deville, Naomi's like, hey, I talked to you last week about a match, and then Naomi's like, oh, okay, ask me next week, and that was it.
It's obviously hinting at the heel turn. The heel turn's coming.
Oh, yeah. That was everyone's everyone's hotly asked for and just hotly anticipated Naomi of the week. Everyone loves them some Naomi, right? She's not the most boring, most ridiculous.
Dom likes her. Dom does like her.
Naomi, I think
she's great in the ring. She's great in the ring, but I like the gimmick. I think the feel of the glow gimmick is stupid. Her entrance is dumb. It's another one like Bianca Belair's entrance. She just dances. Like it's not a wrestling entrance. But it's a club thing.
I don't understand why they moved her. If I'm being honest, there's no women on Raw.
But they're gonna move it. I'm guessing with the Bloodline thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but like I get that point. But like, why do you really need a woman in the Bloodline?
Because she's been related to them. That's why. It's not that it's a woman.
It's marriage.
By the way,
they're not just going to take. They're not going to take their whole family.
I mean, yes, they are. I mean, didn't they sign another Uso this week?
To NXT.
But he's not
coming up to the main. Yeah, but Sifa's not coming up to the main roster in the next 3 years.
The Usos and Roman's going to be there, though.
But like, no, I just don't like the women's division is so dry. I have to watch Nia Jax on my television on Raw. Like anything, Naomi. Like how many? Like probably every top woman wrestler is on SmackDown besides Charlotte Flair.
Speaking of Nia Jax, I forgot to
And
mention
Asuka.
a lot earlier in the show. Actually, during when they came back from break on the Becky Lynch promo segment with Bianca Belair, we got an announcement that this week on Raw, we're going to have a tag team turmoil match for the number one contenders, a 7-way tag team turmoil match. But additionally, we're going to get the rematch that everyone's been asking for, Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair for the title.
I'm going to do something on Wednesday's show. When we talk about Nia Jax, I am going to turn my chair, and then once we're finished talking about Nia Jax, I'll turn it back.
And protest.
I'm a protest against Nia Jax because she is literally the worst wrestler I've ever seen.
We should not talk about it then.
But you got to talk about Charlotte.
I like shitting on her though. I do like
Yeah.
shitting on her because she's that terrible.
She is.
Yeah. Anyway, so to get back on track, we had to wrap up the show. We had the main event. We had Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor. So before I get into the match, I'm going to say that what happened before the match. Finn Balor makes his entrance. The Usos attack. And then the Street Profits make the save, just in case anybody forgot that an hour and a half ago that they had a match. They established they're still feuding, as if that feud was somehow going to be over after an hour. But into the match, I love this match. Like the match itself, like if we're talking about like just like quality, it definitely wasn't their best work as far as in ring, but for what they needed to accomplish, I think they like. The thing I just loved is that Finn Balor, we all knew Finn Balor was going to lose. And I think we can all agree that Finn Balor, having just come back up to the main roster after being so good at NXT, shouldn't necessarily be taking losses. But they found a way to have him lose, but still look really good. I think he looked not even just in the ring, like Fergal Devitt in the ring, but Finn Balor, the character, I think he loses zero credibility with it. I think he gains a lot of credibility after this. He looked so good. You even like, it's to the point, and I haven't seen this from WWE in a long time. By the end of the match, I bought that without that pre-match beatdown and Roman like doing the low blow on that kick out, I bought that he needed to do that to win the match, and that's awesome. I loved everything about this match. It was so good. The only thing, another Michael Cole stupid thing. Can someone please tell him how to pronounce coup de grace? He says coup de grace. Like it's weird. He says it, but he only says it like half the time. He says coup de grace half the time. The other half says coup de grace, and it pisses me off so much. But anyway, Michael Cole is an idiot. We all know that. But anyway, match was great. But let me ask you guys something. What do you guys think of him using the guillotine as a finisher?
It's good.
I love it.
It's domination.
I'm not gonna lie. I like him using a submission. It didn't hit me until this match that I don't know if a guillotine's the best submission finish. Not specifically for Roman Reigns, but just for this in general. Because if you recall, and I probably remember this a little bit better because I watched this only a few hours ago. You guys watched it yesterday. The way that he picked him up, you know how like just the way that wrestlers pick each other up, they hook under the armpit and then they hook around the head. He did that, and I thought he was just picking. I thought he was picking him up. That was him locking in the guillotine. So I think it kind of just got. I just think that if you're gonna have him do a submission, I think there's just better ones that. I don't know. I wouldn't pick the guillotine. I think, and unless he actually like grapevines and is doing like a hanging guillotine, I think it looks too much like just a standing, just standard standing chain wrestling thing.
So I'll say that like I like the guillotine more because I know the last couple matches at least Roman Reigns would always like throw like just nasty punches to his opponent, like 3 or 4 punches, then lock it in. So that's how I knew he was doing it. Also, I can't discredit him for the submission just because I seen Karrion Kross putting the cross jacket and literally the worst submission all time. So I love this match so much. Finn Balor, I totally forgot how great of a seller Finn Balor is. Like he was selling those ribs like they were broken, which was crazy to me. I'm not too ashamed to admit, if we were watching it together, I thought Finn Balor won the Universal Championship before.
That was very close.
I did not think Roman Reigns kicked out. I'm like, did they really just change the title? then they're like 2. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, oh my god, did he actually win? But that spot, I love that spot, that low blow.
It's great. It's fantastic.
When have we ever seen that in wrestling? I have never seen that.
Roman's done it before. He did it.
Has he?
He did it at the very beginning of this run when he feuded with Jey Uso. He did it.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay, yeah, but that was just like
but it's still
his arm was like this high off the ground. He just and then just beat him, and then we got the. Are we done? Do we have another tab for the rest of the or is this it?
Oh, I'll get to it. I'll add it.
Well, I want to talk about it, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll add it.
So I didn't realize. Once. I thought that was like a technical thing when the lights went red.
Mm-hmm.
A 30 second, but then I watched it back. I'm like, oh, that's the demon.
Yeah.
If you listen back, there's a little music too. So I'm very excited for this.
Here's my only thing. So I mentioned there was a rumor around Extreme Rules, and I read this today, and the rumor is Roman Reigns versus the Demon Finn Balor for the championship at Extreme Rules. I don't like that. The match will be good, but the Demon is one of the most protected characters in WWE. He's the Demon King took 1 pinfall in NXT, but the Demon King has not been beaten on the main roster.
Didn't AJ Styles beat him? Didn't AJ Styles beat him?
Not the Demon.
I'm pretty sure he was a demon. He was dressed in paint.
No. Oh, Finn Balor won that match. You mean the one where AJ did double duty?
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Demon has not lost a match, and I get it. I'm not saying beat Roman Reigns, and I understand that Roman Reigns is the person that would beat the Demon, but I think you need to kind of reestablish the Demon because it's been so long since we've seen him as the Demon.
2 years, I think. 2 years the last time.
Yeah, so I think if you're going to unleash the Demon and have him lose, I think you need to reestablish the Demon as being a world beater first before you just go out and beat him when we haven't seen him in over 2 years. But that's just me. It's gonna be the match will be good. I know the match will be good. I wouldn't beat the Demon his first time back.
So here's the tease for it. Those were the red lights. I want to get my thoughts out the way for the Roman for the match real quick. This might be my match of the year so far. I don't know yet. I'm not sure. Well, it's up there. It's top 5. This match, I enjoyed so much. I was watching with my family. My family was into it. It was just so much fun. The thing about wrestling, when a match or a feud, you want, one person's gonna lose. One person's gonna get pinned. Usually, a lot of times, the momentum stops for that one person. That didn't feel like it with Finn Balor. I felt like he gained momentum with that. Mm-hmm. And if you can do that in wrestling, that's very, very good. Mm-hmm. The match, I had no complaints. I think it told a great story. This definitely maybe my favorite match on free TV at least. I don't know about pay-per-view because I forget that Jay White and who was it? Kota Ibushi was early this year.
And we also had Walter versus Ilya Dragunov a couple of weeks ago.
Twice.
That's true.
Yeah, their match at TakeOver 36 was. Yeah, that's my match of the year right now.
That's mine too. Right? That's mine too.
I'm gonna rewatch it. I just both are good. There's a lot of good matches, but I think you really. You already saw it, but I think you really like. This is a match that I definitely think is a match you'd love because you love Japanese strong style, and this was just strike. What, this one or the other one?
Walter versus Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah, it's also
I do like it because my favorite match is Okada versus Shibata. I already said that.
Yeah.
It felt like with Walter and Ilya, it was a bit too much striking. If it makes sense, I
didn't think so. It is when it comes to those two guys, it really is
I know. That's what we're gonna get. It's just a little bit too much.
Yeah,
I like edamame, but I eat a lot of edamame, and sometimes I'm I don't want edamame.
I can see it being an issue. I think you have to really like that style of match. I think I'm not trying to say this is putting down AEW fans, but I don't think AEW fans would like that because they like the like high spots and backflips and topes, and this had none of that. Like you have to really be a fan of this style.
If I had to pick like a brand, I'm like, okay, if we had to split into factions to represent, I would pick New Japan. That's just me, you know. But I enjoyed the match. I think it's definitely top 5, top 10 for me this year so far. I just like this match better. I feel like it's a bigger stage, if it makes sense. Like Walter, I mean, he's been the champion for 2 years, but Roman just, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel. Do you think Roman was more of a Goliath than Walter is? It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
It's only tough because Walter is not presented on weekly TV and like monthly pay-per-views. We've really only got to see him a handful of times, but
exactly.
I really think Walter.
If I were to watch NXT UK weekly, I think I would like that match more. I think
Walter held the championship
exactly. I know
for almost 900 days.
I think as the match itself, maybe it's better Walter versus Ilya, but for me, like you have to know the context about it. You know, like you can't like when I introduced to Cody like some of New Japan, like he might like the match, but he doesn't know the context behind it, so he might not enjoy it.
Well, it's more like Dom. You like high spots. You're
okay.
No, I'm just saying you're a big high. I'm like a big story guy. Like if I can't,
I like story too. I'm not a big.
But that's the main thing for me. If I can't get behind the story or I don't know the story, the match is just not interesting to me. Like John Moxley versus the bread guy or what. Like that's not interesting to me.
It isn't okay. It's not interesting to me. I just like seeing Kojima. That's all.
Also, like I do think I like this match, but I wouldn't say it's match of the year. I don't even think it's the best Roman match of the year. I think Roman versus Daniel Bryan on SmackDown was the better.
I need to watch that too. There's a lot of stuff.
Such a good because Roman Reigns only wrestles on SmackDown like maybe once every 3 months.
I fucking love that. I like one of my favorite title reigns in like the modern WWE era was when Brock Lesnar held the WWE back when it was the unified WWE World Heavyweight Championship. When he held that going into WrestleMania 31, that's one of my favorite ones because you barely ever saw him in the ring, but he had a lot of vignettes and interviews. And I think just for me, like, I think when you have your champion fighting every week, I think it kind of cheapens him because he's the champion. He should be, he's the champion. He should be presented as a bigger deal than everyone else. And what bigger deal is it than to be like, this guy doesn't need to wrestle. Like he only needs to wrestle once a month, but you get to see him every week. But you're only lucky enough to see him wrestle if you pay for it.
Maybe like sometimes when you watch a match, you get too excited about it, like right after. I feel like that maybe with me right now. Maybe I have to age it, but right now.
Eric has kind of convinced me about the demon thing now, because like, I don't think he hasn't lost in WWE, right?
No.
Not as the demon. Yeah, he hasn't fought very many. I mean, in NXT, he lost.
The last person he fought was Andrade, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure the demon's only been pinned once, and it was in NXT. So, like on the main roster, he's never been beat.
Yeah.
So, like,
I think they need to reestablish that.
I get that thing, but at the same time, I feel like it's already established that like this is a different guy. But I don't like that because Roman's gonna win, obviously.
Yeah, like we know it's a different guy, but I think it needs to be established just how good. Like, remember going into WrestleMania 34 when Asuka had just come up from NXT? And every single week they're talking about how she's been undefeated for however many years. Every single week, just drilling it. She's undefeated. She's undefeated. So then when Charlotte beat her, I was at that show. It got a massive, like, not even just holy shit Charlotte won pop, but a lot of like hands on heads, like what the fuck just happened? And I feel like that if you're gonna beat the demon, you should be shooting for a reaction like that. And if you're
think it's actually going to be demon, though, or do you think it's just a rematch? I could see it being a rematch. Extreme Rules is still quite a ways away. This was just a prelim. Like this is the first thing this is the first rumor I read, and it said demon. So we'll see. And they didn't tease the demon for nothing. Well, I know Brock and Roman are most likely fighting in Saudi Arabia because that's just what they do. They like to bring back big names.
I have a question before we head off with the we're predicting like match cards for Roman in the upcoming pay-per-views. What do you think is gonna happen in Survivor Series? Do you think it's gonna be a brand warfare again, or
So I've heard The Rock. I've heard The Rock as a rumor as a tag team match. It would be The Rock and Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso and Roman.
What?
okay?
They would
So they're all.
they would split.
So they're going to split the bloodline. That seems a little bit premature, don't you think?
It's
Because
just
the bloodline's red hot. Yeah,
It's rumors.
It's just rumors. I heard, also, I see like Dom said the other day, Drew McIntyre getting drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah. See, look at Dom's prediction. Actually, like
I don't want it to happen because I don't want Drew's just like I'm over Drew, but like who else are you going to put against Roman? He's beating everybody.
he beat Drew at Survivor Series last year.
Yeah,
I mean, super dirty, but
yeah, it wasn't.
I would also love a Roman versus Bobby Lashley match.
It will happen. It will happen.
Oh man,
It has to happen. It has to.
And
It will
doing
happen. Come on.
They're doing it right. They're doing it right by like having. That's why I think Goldberg, this match with Goldberg inside. Goldberg can't fucking beat him, and I think he's going to.
He's not.
I don't know because the way you make that match big isn't just by having your two champions and like two big monster stars, but you've got to keep them undefeated for a long time. Like honestly, I don't even think they've had enough time for it to be like Survivor Series this year. I think keep them dominant and undefeated until Survivor Series next year, then do it.
Yeah, but if they're keeping with the Survivor Series theme, they're gonna have to.
I know.
Like, there's definitely needs to be some changeovers. I mean, we've all seen Becky Lynch versus Charlotte like 1,000 times, but yeah. I mean,
all right, let's have a final thoughts on the show until we close off because we're not gonna just ramble.
I'll go first. I thought this was the best show of the week, by far. It wasn't really that close. I do like the story. Some of the storylines that SmackDown's pulling off. I think I love the Happy Corbin stuff. I love the Roman Reigns stuff. I don't like the tag team stuff, but that's not. I don't think that's like. What are they going to do? They don't really have that many tag teams to fight the Usos right now. I just want the Becky Lynch Bianca thing to have a great match, and I want it to be over so we can get Sasha versus Becky or Sasha. Just put Sasha back on my TV screen. What else is there? The Rick Boogs thing sucked, but Shinsuke needs someone needs to make Intercontinental Championship mean something, and Shinsuke's not doing it for me. So, and Sami Zayn needs to be on my TV more.
Sami Zayn for Intercontinental Championship.
He's already been in it. He's already beat. He's not been in a feud with Nakamura. If he's gonna win the Intercontinental Championship, it needs to be a different character. It needs to be a different person.
What happened with Apollo Crews?
Who cares?
I'm glad he's off the TV.
Yeah, who cares? That's what.
Anyways, my final thoughts. I enjoyed this a lot. I had a great time yesterday. AEW kind of fell asleep afterwards, but that's just a testament of SmackDown. Great show, best show of the week, best show of the month, which doesn't say much because it's the beginning.
This is the first show of the month.
Well, it's not the first.
It's better than the CM Punk Return Rampage episode.
That was last month.
It's better than the best show of the week. It's the best show of the week, best show of the month. The month just started. That's all I'm gonna say. I like this show. I'm excited to see what happens next week.
Yeah, I agree that this was definitely the best match of the week. I'm not quite as high on the episode as you guys because there was a lot of assorted nonsense. We obviously have very differing opinions on the Big E cameo and other things, but this was definitely a good match. I definitely if I were to grade it on a scale of like 1, or let's do it on an A to F scale, I would definitely give this at the very least like a solid B, like which for modern wrestling is fucking great. So yeah, a lot like really high highs that were kind of leveled out by pretty low lows, but there was enough good in the middle that made this up. Even though I bitch a lot about every wrestling show, there was still a lot. There was a lot more stuff on this show that I liked than I disliked, which is fairly rare for me. So this was a good watch. I loved this. I shouldn't say loved. I liked it a lot. All
right, so we have All Out tomorrow night, or like in 30 minutes. Then today. We will make sure you guys watch our predictions coming out tomorrow on WrestlePoint YouTube channel. We're gonna have a review probably. I get out at work early on Monday because it's a holiday, so probably have that Monday night, Tuesday morning, hopefully.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be watching. I'm excited for All Out. I don't know how I'm gonna watch it yet. I'll try to stream it illegally, but
I might be able to get a. I think I last or was it last year? I bought it one year, and I think I can renew my purchase with Bleacher Report. Maybe I can share the link with you guys.
it's on
We'll
Bleacher
figure it
Report.
out.
It's also on Fight TV.
We'll
So
figure it out.
I feel that's it. Anything else, guys, before we wrap up?
Nope.
All right, we will see you ASAP Network.